tell you guys how it started. So, but I was working at a church in Arkansas, Six Flags Over Jesus, and anyway, my wife, I'll never forget, one Sunday, she came home and she said, "Hey, I signed us up to go to prison." And I was like, "Yeah, right." All my life, I said, "I've been trying to stay out of jail my whole life. I'm gonna start going now." She said, "Well, if you don't want to go, that's fine." She's like, "You can stay home with the kids and I'll go." And I'm like, "Cool." And so she goes and she shares her testimony at this women's prison. And she came back and she was like on fire about it. Like, I've never seen her like this. And so she said, "Hey, the next time we're going, I'm signing you up, we're going. And you're going to take your little guitar and you're going to play some of these songs you're writing." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And so a couple of months later, she signed us up. And so we got involved in this prison ministry that our church had. And we would go down to these women's prisons, men's prisons, wherever. But this particular Sunday was the first time I'd ever been in my life to a prison, and which is crazy because I could have easily ended up in one. So I could definitely relate to what was going on. But man, we went in and we shared our story with these women. And at the end of it, I gave an altar call. And I had a song that I'd written. I played this song. And halfway through it, I look up. And I've got my eyes closed. I look up and there were 35 women on their hands and knees that had given their lives to the Lord that day. I was like taken back. I couldn't finish the song. I got choked up. The guy that was with me was choked up. We were all choked up. I couldn't finish the song. And I couldn't talk about that experience for months. But I remember during all that, I felt like God said, "Zach, if you need an aha moment, here it is. These are the places, these are the people, these are the songs, this is what I have for you, this is what I want you to do with your music." And so that was kind of like the starting place for me. And so here I was working at this church, involved in this prison ministry. I get invited to Nashville. I meet this guy named Jonathan Smith, who came over to visit for Christmas. I just happened to be leading worship in a different service that they came to. His wife's dad was a deacon at the church. I mean, it was a crazy thing. And this guy was a producer in Nashville, 10 years younger than me. We grew up in the same hometown. I've never met the guy in my life. He gets my email. He sends me a message, invites me to Nashville. He's like, "Hey, I kind of made some calls to some friends of mine who are songwriters, and I've got an entire week set up for you to come in and write songs." And so we were like writing 2 songs a day. And I saved up time to go over there and stay for a week. I stayed at his house. And on that Friday, I'll never forget, man, I was ready to go home. I had a 4-hour drive. I was tired. I was out of lyrics. I was out of ideas. I was like, man, they're gonna figure out that I'm not very good at this. And, that'll be it. Well, on that Friday, it was me, Jonathan Smith, and Jonathan, just to kind of tell you guys who he is, he's recorded, he's produced every album that I put out. And I would say maybe 1 or 2 songs on each record that he's not a part of a writer on it, So he's been involved in everything. So he brings me in. There's a girl named Mia Fields who's a really great songwriter as well. And we just start talking, and while we're there, I share for about an hour like my life story. She shares her story. Jonathan talks about his life. Mia's telling me about her sister and some things that were going on in her life. And as we're talking, I get into my prison ministry that I'm in, and as soon as I bring it up, Mia just stops, the room, and she's just like, "Hey, you got to write a song called Chainbreaker." And I'm just kind of like, "Where'd that come from?" She was like, "I don't know, but you got to write a song called Chainbreaker. We got to write that song right now." And I was like, "All right, how does it go?" I didn't know anything, I didn't have an idea in my head. And Jonathan turned around at a piano, and he played the opening part of Chainbreaker. And when he did, I just, out of nowhere, I said, "You've been walking the same old road for miles and miles." And I stopped because I was like, "What was that?" And they were just looking at God. They were like, "What was that?" I was like, "I don't know. It just came out." They were like, "Well, do you have more?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't." But I wish every song was like it. This is the only one I've written in the last 10 years that has been this way. It just happened. I mean, it was literally like God showed up and took the pen and paper and wrote the song for us in about 15 minutes. I tracked a vocal that day that ended up being the vocal that we put on the record, on the radio. I tried to re-record that song 4 or 5 times in Nashville. I couldn't beat it. I couldn't do better than the day we wrote the song, which is crazy. And I took that song on my way back to Arkansas and I just said, God, would you just take this one song and just use this to find everybody who's going through it in their life that needs to know who you are. And I would pray that every time I would get in my vehicle and drive back and forth to Nashville. And about 6 months later, I signed a record deal off of the demo of that song. I get a phone call, I'm getting ready to work. One night, lead a college worship service at my church. It's a Wednesday night, I get a phone call, and they're like, hey, we played your song Chainbreaker at a meeting today, and the president of the record label wants to sign you to a record deal. They'd never even met me. I never even played a song live. I was like, are you serious? Like, I'm almost 40 years old. I was like, and so, I say all of that to say, damn, God can use anybody. And the thing is He wants to use you. And if you don't make yourself available, He's going to find somebody else to use. And so, February will be 10 years since I signed my record deal. And I've been out traveling for the last 10 years. I've played close to 1,000 shows in the last 10 years. And I get to share the story, share my songs with you guys. It never gets old. I just want to say thank y'all for being here tonight. It's fun sometimes to kind of strip everything back and play some of these smaller shows where we can be a little more intimate and tell some stories. But I just want to say thank y'all for the support. I do have a new record out. It's out. Today is the first day you can actually buy a physical copy, so it's here. You guys can check it out on your way home. I pray that it blesses you guys. But if I had a guitar strap, I'd stand up, but I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to treat y'all like a Baptist church and tell y'all to stand up and sing a song with me. But you guys come on. Y'all help us out. If you've been walking the same road for miles and miles, if you've been